for this test, and we're all clearly excited for T0. And as we get into the final moments, one issue that could hold the countdown or cancel the test altogether is if a boat enters the safety perimeter. Now, over my shoulder is the Gulf of Mexico, which is normally very open to all of the boaters and fishers.
Yeah. Minutes. We're also going to go through pressurization steps, other steps of the countdown. This will be a full validation for the team.
G'day everyone.
Currently, the plan
Goddamn, my internet's a bit janky tonight.
is that I think at
It might explode before the rocket does.
seconds, we will finally stop the clock and then recycle the countdown.
Hi Linkovich. Hi Samba Gogo.
Now we're inside T-minus 8 minutes and counting. We're continuing to load propellant on both the first and second stage. You can see the Starship second stage with the...
I was going to drop into Finatra and see whether he wanted to watch it, but he was busy playing on his guitar.
You can see the condensation around the first stage tank as we load liquid methane, liquid oxygen.
The biggest rocket to ever launch. The biggest rocket to ever explode.
Super heavy first stage. And that propellant loading is continuing until
this rocket is going to explode and then fall over and then explode again.
Great view looking up at the Raptor engines, the 33 engines. There's an outer ring of
None of these 30 engines have all fired successfully.
An set of 13. Those are the engines that can gimbal and adjust the course of the Starship vehicle on the way up. And of course, the first stage as it comes back down towards the water landing in the Gulf of Mexico. Now, when both stages are loaded, you can see the condensation frost on the side of the first stage. We'll have just over
10 million what?
pounds of liquid propellant on board. Inside T
How many kilograms is that?
Continuing to count. Team is preparing for the hold and scrub at T-minus 10 seconds. Now the good news is,
did you see that Methwin Ventura segment on Ethan's show?
Team will get this as an excellent opportunity to run the end-to-end of the system. Now in a launch in the next few minutes, the guidance system would be performing its final alignment.
The guidance system would not be needed in this situation.
The automated flight termination system would be armed. We won't need to arm it today as we won't be flying. And we'll do final thrust vector control checkout, what we call of the Raptor engines on the first and second stages.
Keep grooving, dude.
Now, normally in a
if someone hacks my router, I'll be spewing. Don't hack my fucking router, guys.
There's a view of the second stage Raptor engines.
those stages would not be necessary.
Now, as I mentioned, in a regular countdown, if we needed to hold, that would come at T-minus 40 seconds.
This is like the first rocket that doesn't look like a penis. Well, it doesn't look like my penis.
Seconds. That's the point in the countdown where we can pause to wait for final checkouts or pressurization to complete. Now, earlier this morning, we thought we might have to hold it 40 seconds. Everything's looking good, except for the one pressurization issue that the team
Keep it together, Aussie broadband.
Is going to have to troubleshoot after this morning. So we won't stop at 40 seconds right now. We'll continue all the way down to 10 seconds, and then we'll go into a recycle.
What? What's a resync? Did he just say they had a problem? I got a problem with a dodgy internet connection.
John, you mentioned that we're going to be jumping into a wet dress rehearsal here, and I actually
now
think
we're coming up T-minus 5 minutes. Overall, though, Kate Shiva, it's been a day. It's a little sad listening to the flight director say that we're going to have to stop at 10 seconds. But I guess that's for everybody. It gives us a real run through of the launch vehicle.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Of course, we wanted to see fire today and lift off, but that's okay. The point of the countdown is to allow the teams to progress to that T0 time in a coordinated fashion and really to unveil any issues prior to the ignition sequence. So the countdown did its job today. It allowed us to identify that press issue, and like John mentioned, the teams are going to work through it, and we are going to basically call it off at T-minus 10 seconds. But the integrated launch teams and us, we are going to treat this as if it were still a launch day. We're going to do this, what we now call a wet dress rehearsal.
Yeah, and we've mentioned the term a couple of times here. We call it a wet dress rehearsal because we are wetting the propeller.
We call it a wet dress rehearsal because it's a big wet blanket, because we have just loaded a shit ton of fuel and coolant into this thing, and that's all going to be wasted. Damn. I have a backup too.
Let's play Mr. Dongs Collector. How many dongs can you find? I bet you can find all of the dongs. I have faith in you. There is a much adventure.
Help Mr. Dongs find priceless phallic objects of antiquity, starting with the jungles of Peru. Stage 1 is fully complete and ready for purchase. With over 23 levels of adventure. By the game end it is yours forever.
Why are you not buying and playing it now? Now.